No way. No way. No! Hey, what's up? It's Pantry here. You may know me for my courageous act of, well... Yo! What you just saw was a revolutionary new tech I dubbed the true reverse BLJ, or the PLJ if we're gonna call it that now, okay? Okay. This advanced tech literally removes the use of stairs, and there are a few others I want to showcase as well. The main map we'll be looking at with this tech today is literally just stairs. Handy, right? Now normally in a speedrun of this game, on a staircase you see this. You have a tight window to jump twice after the initial jump. You have to stop after a while, which is lame, but you still skip a decent amount of steps before being locked into high knees. Now recently there's been reports of a super stairs. If you time it just right, you will jump insanely high. Let's try this again. Basically, at the bottom of the staircase, you have a small window to hit a precise jump, which gives you insane height and maintains the same speed. Since these findings, it's been the dream to get the perfect stair skip. This phenomena is actually nothing new from what has been seen in runs before, as it's extremely similar to the slope transitional jump tech that has been used for gaining height before going on an uphill stretch like so. With this, your gravity kind of goes parallel with the diagonal slope is how I can describe it, which is why you shoot up like that. This also seems to be the case with super stairs. If you miss it with the stairs though, you get locked in. With these two techs, you get a lot more off of one jump. Not only do you get that height, but you can also apply hovering and more jumps to your stair gameplay. Yo, check out this clip. Yo, what my legs clipped through the ground. What? I just noticed that. Now I mostly passed this off as a little funny looking thing initially. Maybe it's just how the hover animation works, I don't know. But I persisted in finding a use for it, damn it. From there on, I tried to implement weird bunny hopping motions into my runs in hopes of it doing something or maybe speeding me up somehow. I then started to notice it seemed more effective doing this uphill than anywhere else. Yo! The next logical step was to test this out. Before we get into this one, we need to understand a more complicated tech. And if you had trouble understanding the previous concepts, get ready. Now what if I told you that there are numerous parallel universes in each map of Ring Fit? Yep, we're getting into parallel universes. You see, if you build up speed for long enough at the bottom of the stairs, I recommend about 90 minutes, you'll be able to, well, I'll just let you see for yourself. So what happens if we combine these phenomena we've gone over thus far? Well, this is what we get. So there it is, the RBLJ. It's got everything we want in it. The jump and the leg thing. It's rowdy. It's fun. It's everything you want, baby. And best of all, you still get your XP. Why the name? My honest answer is that I had a dream one night that a new speedrunner came out of nowhere and found out how to BLJ up the stairs at the time where we only knew what super stairs was. This was the main inspiration to my research, so I jokingly named it that once I was finally able to do it. With the fact that we can't go backwards, of course. Even before that, I also jokingly called the variations on super stairs that. But yeah, this is a more fitting name for this. Plus, you know, it's stairs like in its original source. PLJ is another name someone came up with, which is, well, you guessed it, named after yours truly. You can go either way with the names, either one makes me giddy, although PLJ does roll off the tongue nicely, but it feels like a gaff. You sort of have to get into a rhythm with it. As you can see, I tend to with the air puffs. I typically try to do an aerial air puff once I'm at the peak of my jump, but ultimately consistency works best in this setup. The exact inputs for this are super jump, quick hover press, landing dash to immediate jump, and you repeat the quick hover press, landing dash, immediate jump over and over again. You can also throw in other fancy stuff like holding hover, but the most consistent setup is the one I described. Technically, you don't need the initial super jump / slope transitional jump to do the RBLJ, but it is needed for optimal speed so you can get a head start on height that can carry over. Otherwise, you have to halt yourself to reconfigure correct height to get a bunny hop dash. This is far less consistent, but I recommend going for it in a failed attempt. I call this clutch method. So I know what you're thinking. Does this work with double jumps? Yeah, that's the one caveat to this. The only way around it that I can think of, I tentatively call the hyper hop. But as you can tell, I have not been able to successfully get around this completely yet. The good news is that you have a double jump now, so it's certainly worth the trade-off. Which, speaking of, you can obviously mix this with hovering and super jumps as well. Okay, now that we're out of the way with all the technical stuff, I just want to explain why this works. Now, why this might work is there seems to be a possibility the clip that occurs resets the player position, making the ground seem flat for that moment, and a sprint and therefore a full speed jump can occur. The reason I think this is I find I'm vastly more successful if I'm actually trying to sprint while doing this as opposed to just staying still. This also ties into bunny hopping, as I find you don't really clip if you're not running very fast at all. It's easier when you're going faster. This makes sense to me, but I'm not sure if it's true. If it is though, there is also a possibility that the high momentum and height is caused by a chain of super stairs occurring. Basically, if it keeps resetting yourself as if you're just going onto the stairs, like super stairs, you could just keep chaining them. It's far-fetched, so I kind of doubt this theory, but it is interesting. Quick little interjection here. So this theory was actually correct. If you look at every time I land, you actually see the little dash lines, meaning I actually am dashing between landings, which is pretty cool. Not sure if it's a normal or super jump, but it's a jump. That being said, I'm still trying to find ways to make this as consistent as possible, but this little piece of info right here kind of helped with making this happen so far. Alright, so I got some final tips here. Admittedly, the super jump window is very hard to get consistently, so here are some visual cues and timing tricks I use to vastly help. For staircases similar to those found in levels 2 and 3 in World 1, I jump right as I can tell my character is stepping onto the bottom step. For staircases like those found in the first level, I jump about a full step's length away from the first step, as I imagine my character stepping onto an extra invisible step. The reason for 2 separate timings is I find the first staircase I mentioned kind of has like an extra step at the bottom that's embedded with the floor, if that makes sense. So I just make the other staircase earlier and it works out. Feel free to come up with your own timing tricks, but just remember it takes practice and awareness. As mentioned before, the frame window is estimated to be about 5 frames, maybe 3 to 6 or something like that. Another timing trick for PLJs is you can imagine a light press and a heavy press alternating in your rhythm, the aerial one being the light press. This way I find is the easiest to be consistent in all forms of the tech, so I have consistent presses and therefore timings. Oh yeah, and if you ever want free time save, so far Chinese M was found as the fastest language, which you can switch to in the Rincon settings. Lastly, it just takes good practice, and there are many great ways to practice that are built into the game, such as custom mode. Also, if you have Switch Online, you can also more quickly reset or jump into a specific save point, such as with skipping the first cutscene by disabling autosave on your speedrun account. This can also be used to accelerate your practice, but comes with a price or trial, of course. Free trial, baby! Things can get frustrating as it could be incredibly easy to misinput with motion controls, but as long as you calibrate correctly, it should go well most of the time.
从地面将力量灌输到全身 Victory!
Whoa! Congratulations! You've successfully completed your first PLJ. I'd just like to quickly thank a few people, such as Point Crow for pioneering the Super Stare movement, as well as Blako0427, SuperLewis64, and a lot more who recently pushed the meta for this a lot harder and hit some sick Super Stares in the process. Also shout out to Kiromax for being the GOAT before this who I stole strats from, as well as the Ring Fit mods, community, and everyone else who supported me on this grind and popped off with me. And shout out to my Ring Fit coach. Couldn't have done it without you, buddy.
Overall, this is an insane time save, saving like, I don't know, a whopping 10 to 20 seconds compared to the old stair strats. This will be most useful in the shorter categories, obviously, but in a long run, the added time save would be nice for sure.
Of course, we still have that double jump caveat to deal with, so
if anybody ever does, just let me know, but yeah, I can't for the life of me. I can't figure this one out. And I'm honestly starting to think we never will.
Anyway, my head hurts, so I'm gonna grab a drink, maybe a snack. Try not to get concussed. Bye.
We did it, baby! Let's go!
We actually defeated stairs. Oh.